welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we're doing TBR prompts to choose as my September TBR. But before we hop in the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you love all things books. I did finish my TBR, my entire 5-book TBR last month. You can go see that in my TBR reading vlog, which I believe was my last video that I posted, but I'll have that linked somewhere up there. And like always, I've got my little Taylor Swift cup here because my only mason jars are things I drink out of, and I didn't drink out of this one, so I've got this one. And I've written down a bunch of prompts to pick from, so I'm going to choose the prompts and then I'm going to go over to my physical TBR shelf. Now, you'll be seeing a couple videos coming out that I'm planning or hoping to plan for a move early next year, so I'm trying not to buy as many physical books. I mean, is that stopping me? Not necessarily, but I'm trying to pare back on the physical books that I read. So my goal is to pick 3 physical books off my TBR and 2 books off of my Kindle TBR because I also have a long Kindle TBR. So without further ado, I'm going to pick the prompts, then we're going to go over to the shelves in my Kindle and decide what it is we want to read. Alright, so the first prompt that we have is author with initial of your last name. So an author who starts with M. That ought to be interesting to see how that one works out. I don't know if I have any physically. If we do, that one might have to be Kindle reads. And then we have a YA or young adult novel. I have so many of those on my physical TBR, and I'm currently reading one, so who knows? Maybe I'll put that on there. So we have to pick a YA book. And then we have a 5-star prediction or 5-star potential book. Is this the month? Is this the month that I read it? I feel as if this is the month that I pick up Blood Marked. We'll see. I don't know what else is on there. And then 4th we have Taylor Swift inspired. Okay, I think I have one on my Kindle that's up for grabs. I don't think I have anything physically that's Taylor Swift inspired. But we know me, I am a big Swiftie. And then lastly we have pick up a novella. So I need to look at like what's considered page count for a novella, but I have a few physical books that I think are 250 or under. And then I've also got plenty of novellas I think on my Kindle, so we'll see. But let's go over to my bookshelves and pick from there. Alright, so we are at the TBR shelf. So my first prompt is an author with the same initial as your last name. So I'm going to take that as either a first initial M or last initial M. And I don't know who I have that has an M. No. Yeah, I don't see one that has an M in their name. And this is definitely A. Wait, no. Let me see. No. So that one's going to be on the Kindle. Then we have a YA novel. So these are the 2 YA books that I just bought. So my options are A Bond Me for 2. This one is 12th Night, which I think is a new release. Then we have, let's see, what's our next YA? Then we have Blood Marked, but I have another one that Anna Dressed in Blood, The Bones of Ruin, and then those are our only YA, and then I am currently reading another YA for my reading vlog that's going to go up sometime, maybe 1 or 2 videos after this. I think I want to read this one, if I can pick it up. I just bought it, did not know it had sprayed edges when I got it. But this one looks really cute. It's a little YA queer romance set in Vietnam. I don't know if I've read a book set in Vietnam before, so I'm curious to see how this one works out. Then we have 5-star prediction or 5-star potential. Blood Marked. Blood Marked has to be that one. I have to pick that one up. There's no other way around that. So I will pick that up, but not right now because it's kind of in the middle there, so we're impending failure. Then the next 2 are Taylor Swift inspired and a novella. I don't think any of these fit the novella length requirement because the max page requirement is 200. So I think all of these are over 200. And then I don't think I have any like physically inspired Taylor Swift books. At least I don't think I do. So I guess instead of doing 3 physical, 2 Kindle, we're going to do 3 Kindle, 2 physical. So I will see y'all as I go pick out my Kindle books. Alright, so our first prompt is an author with initial of your last name. So I have to find someone saved on here that has an M. I can do Assistant to the Villain because that's by Hannah Nicole Mayer. So we have an M there. That's perfect for the fall season. Let's see what else we have if anyone has an M saved here. So I don't see anyone else saved on here that has an M as one of their initials. So we're going to go with Assistant to the Villain from Hannah Nicole Mayer. We've already picked our YA. We've already picked our 5-star. And then we have Taylor Swift inspired. So I have one on here that I think is Taylor Swift inspired, or at least the name is, because it says Our Secret Moments. So I'm thinking about Dancing with Our Hands Tied. And from what I've seen, all these titles feel Taylor Swift-esque. I need to look at it. Okay, where's the dress? Our Secret Moments in a Crowded Room. Is that dress Taylor Swift? Either way, there's a lot of Taylor Swift on here on the playlist, so I'm going with Our Secret Moments by Janisha Boswell. I saw Shaughnessy talk about it recently, and she loved it, so I gotta like put it up there near the top. And then the last one is a novella. I think the only novella I have saved on here is Honeybloods. If I'm correct, that's a novella. I need to check for sure if it is. Yeah, so Honeybloods is a novella. It's under 200 pages. So that'll be our third book for novella. So let's go over all the books that we are going to be reading this month. Alright, so the first one we picked was author with the initial or same initial as your last name. So I picked Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is on Kindle Unlimited, or at least it was on Kindle Unlimited when I downloaded it. So I'm going to be reading this one. I don't own it physically, but I remember this book popping off last year, and I know the sequel just came out. So hopefully if I like this one, maybe we can enjoy a series. From what I understand, it's about a girl who becomes the assistant to a villain who is apparently not well liked in the village, but she somehow is the only one who could stand him, and there's a little romance. It's kind of like cozy fantasy vibes. Now, I'm not a huge fan of like cozy fantasy, but hey, for the fall times, I will read a little cozy. I'm more likely to read something that's cozy fantasy if the romance is more heavily involved in it. So I'm curious to see how that one plays out. And then after that, we have a YA novel. So we have one of the newest books to my TBR, and that is A Bond Me for Two. I literally saw this on the shelves in Books A Million, and I was like, cute. Read the back, read the author, Trinity Nguyen's like story. I'm like, also cute. Gonna be reading this. So this is about 2 Vietnamese girls, one who was born and raised in Vietnam, who grew up, in the restaurant industry, and runs this blog called A Bond Me for Two with her father, but her father recently passed away, and she's struggling to find the inspiration to start the blog again. Then the other girl who grew up in America, as Vietnamese American, grew up not understanding why her parents wouldn't talk about Vietnam or where they came from. So during her first year of college, she studied abroad in Vietnam and seeks out the author of A Bond Me for Two, her favorite blog, and they both try to help each other on their journey of self-discovery and getting back to where they are, and a cute little romance ensues from there. Also pink. Pinky pink. Beautiful sprayed edges. I love how both the books that I recently bought, I just went in and I grabbed them because one was on sale and this one was YA short. It's really cute. Did notice both of them were special editions. Like both have sprayed edges and like specialty things going on. But cutesy. Then we have our 5-star prediction or 5-star potential, and I have been putting this book off for long, and that is Bloodmark, the sequel to Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Look at our sprayed edges. We do have the Barnes & Noble exclusive. She was cute. She was sweet. Favorite book of last year was Legendborn, so book 2 is going to have me. And I know it's going to be forever for book 3 for me to read just because it's coming out next year and it's going to come back in hardcover, but I own all the other books in paperback, so I'm going to wait to buy it in paperback, and I know it's going to drive me absolutely insane, so that's why I've been putting this one off. But I have to know. I have to know what the girlies know, because I know the love triangle is going to be love triangling. that was not a good use of that sentence structure. And I have preferences for who I like, but who knows? But honestly, I just want to see how Bree's story continues. Then the next one we have is Taylor Swift inspired. So we're going to look at Our Secret Moments by Janisha Boswell. So from what I understand, this is a college new adult, I think it's football or baseball romance. It's a sports romance. I'm not sure, but it's best friend's brother, like, grew up knowing each other. You know, I don't know who's had a crush on who, or who's whatever, but apparently he's on the team. She's in journalism. She's tasked with reviving the campus newspaper, and he asked her to know, hey, can you help me with, like, my interviews? You know I don't do a lot right now, but, like, I really want to improve my interview skills and go forth and so forth. So, you know, I love me. My bread and butter is, like, new adult sports romance. So I'm very excited. The last one we have is Honey Buds by T.S. Bell. This is a young adult vampire sapphic, like, novella series. It kept popping up in my recommended for Kindle, so I was like, might as well. So we'll see how this one works out. Vampire is hit or miss for me. From what I understand, these two were once friends. They aren't friends anymore. Then one of them becomes a vampire, accidentally kills someone, then shows up at the other girl's doorstep and was like, hey, I need your help burying a body, and so on and so forth. Very appropriate for the season, because September is entering fall, and fall season is amazing, and Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. So those are the 5 books that are on my TBR for September. Let me know what your plans are for September. What is on your fall TBR? You know, what spooky or cozy reads are we having this season? And let me know what you would like to see next.